Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. So today what we're taking a look at is the latest LG firmware for the LG C9 OLED. So if we come into general and about this TV, as you can see, I'm currently on the latest version. I did actually switch this off, so I'll switch that back on, seeing as I'm already updated. But 05.10.04 is the latest firmware. Now, when I actually noticed that this had been updated, I did actually do a quick search online, and there were a few forum threads about how people were having issues, mainly with Dolby Vision, and in particular is to do with any peripherals connected to the TV. So be that the Apple TV 4K, which was named quite a few times, and also some, I believe, pass-through from some Denon receivers through various devices, so Blu-ray players and other things. So firstly, what I want to just do is just do a quick demonstration. Obviously, I'm not going to have any audio playing, but what I'm going to do is come across to Netflix, and we have this series, so Sweet Tooth, as you can see, is Dolby Vision. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play it, and I'll only show you the top right hand corner, and this is basically just demonstrating that Dolby Vision does kick in, as you can see just there. So Dolby Vision does kick in for me. So yeah, I've not got no issues with Dolby Vision, no real issues with any of the other small little niggly things that were mentioned. However, there is a problem that I did notice with the latest version. Now, I'm not 100% sure whether this happened on the previous version as well, but so I've had a few instances where WebOS itself has crashed. And when it crashes, I've noticed that it does a certain thing. So firstly, if I just press the settings button once, just quickly press it, we get the mini menu. Now, when WebOS crashes, you don't get this menu. And what you also don't get is when you hit the home button and you get the sort of apps down the bottom, if I come into LG Content Store, as you'll see, this pretty much loads up straight away. And everything's loading and everything's fine. Now, the problem that you get when WebOS crashes is that LG Content Store or any internal apps won't actually fully, well, they won't load up at all. They'll just hang, and then Content Store will actually give you an error, and everything else just simply won't load. Another way that I actually identified that that issue was happening was when you actually hold the settings button and you bring up the full menu. In picture, under additional settings, if we click into this, as we can see, we get all of our OLED sort of settings just here, and we have eye comfort mode at the top. Now, when WebOS crashes, the only thing that's showing is eye comfort mode. Now, the reason I'm actually making a video on this is this actually relates to my month 15 OLED burn-in test video. I'll link that in a card in the top right. And essentially what happened was the mini pixel refresher wasn't actually running in the background for some reason. And obviously with these three options missing, so it wasn't also allowing me to do any additional changes either. So if we come to pixel refresher, it wasn't actually allowing me to start the manual one. So none of this was actually showing. Now, there's two reasons why a WebOS would crash. So initially I did actually have, so if we come into, I believe it's additional settings in general, and I did actually have quick start enabled. Now, the actual time it takes between having quick start enabled and not enabled, there's not actually that big of a difference. You're maybe only talking maybe 2 or 3 seconds between the two. But because I had this enabled, when it does crash, simply turning the TV off doesn't actually restart WebOS. And despite checking, I couldn't actually see any option to actually do a hard reset. So in order to do a hard reset, so say for example you come across a situation where you come into the picture menu and you come down to additional settings and all you see is eye comfort mode. You don't see any of these three options, and you don't have the option to come in further and adjust anything further. If you're only getting this, that means WebOS has crashed for you. So in order to actually reset it, because you also won't be able to come in and simply just turn off the quick start, because it'll still be enabled at that point until it actually resets. So what you have to actually do is on your remote, you have to hold the volume down and power button at the same time for roughly about 10 seconds. When you then let go, the TV will turn off. Once it turns off, it will then actually do a hard reset. And what I suggest, unless you really need it, I personally would suggest actually not having the option of quick start enabled, because there's not actually a massive difference. And as you can see there, it does actually increase your energy consumption because it's going to keep things in standby in the background. Yes, it does load up a tiny bit faster, and that's mainly just for internal apps. But for me personally, having tested it both ways, you're only talking a few seconds difference. So for the sake of that, I would personally just leave that off. Now, as I said, it does actually cause a bit of a problem, because whilst it didn't necessarily cause any type of burn-in, it did actually lead to image retention, because the mini pixel refresher wasn't actually running in the background. So for some reason, some sort of glitch occurred, and despite me turning the TV off several times in between that, it wasn't actually showing, it wasn't actually running the mini pixel refresher in the background. So obviously for that, that's quite a serious thing for it. That's one of the sort of built-in precautions, if you like, and it's one of the built-in safety measures. So if that's not running, then that kind of puts your OLED TV at risk, because that is how my picture quality is so perfect. I have burn-in test videos on my channel, so you can go and watch those and actually see it for yourself. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video for anybody out there that has an LG C9. And now I don't know if this will occur on the CX as well as the C1 series, any of these basically 2020 and 2021 series TVs, because they do use a slightly different version of WebOS. So as you can see, mine is a sort of if we bring up the actual settings menu, mine is a sort of grey and black menu, whereas on the newer TVs, they've actually changed it to a black and white, and even the home screen on the C series, the 2021 series, is completely different. And by the way, which for me is a step backwards, because this is a lot better for me. I would much rather have just a small menu at the bottom that I can interact with and still keep the actual picture on screen, rather than having it take up the whole screen. That for me is an absolute fail from LG's point of view. But yeah, the idea behind this video was literally just to give you guys some guidance in terms of how to spot it, so if WebOS has crashed, and basically what to do. So in order to reset the TV and just get things to refresh, what you have to do once again is hold the volume down and the power button together for 10 seconds. You then let go, the TV will turn off, give it a few seconds, let it actually fully shut off, turn it back on, and what you should notice is that all your menus should have returned. So when you come into picture menu, additional settings, all of these should have returned, and everything should then be working again as usual. It's not something that you really need to worry about. I think in the whole ownership of this TV, so I've now had this for over 17 months. In that whole time, this has only happened to me twice. However, the only times I've actually noticed it is on this latest firmware. So possibly it could be some sort of a bug with the quick start on this particular version of firmware. But because I've not seen anybody else mention it, I thought I'd at least make this video for anybody out there that may have the similar issue. And another way to spot it is that obviously none of your internal apps will actually work, despite the fact that your Wi-Fi will actually say it's connected. So if you come to connection and Wi-Fi, it'll actually say connected to the internet. And I even tried disconnecting and reconnecting, and that still didn't fix it. And obviously the reason for that was because WebOS itself had crashed, and it wasn't just the internet connection that was actually down. So yeah, this video is for you guys out there. Hopefully this will save some of you guys some hardship in terms of any possible image retention, or worst case scenario, some burn-in. But it'll also make life easier if you're having those crashes with the internal apps and you use the internal apps. That is very frustrating. And also for anybody out there that is using Apple TV 4K with this particular firmware, if you are having issues with Dolby Vision, drop a comment in the comment section down below and let me know, because I personally haven't been able to recreate it on anything. So be that the internal apps or any external devices as well. Obviously the Apple TV 4K is my main one, so that's what I use. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below. Other than that, if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe to the channel. Also hit the bell icon, that way you're notified whenever I upload a new video. And I'd really appreciate if you give this video a thumbs up so you can get out and reach more people and hopefully benefit more people. And other than that, thanks very much for watching.